Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like a stranger to yourself? Not because of your appearance, but because the eyes staring back at you reflect a version of yourself that you no longer want to be. You see an outdated version, trapped in the loop of old habits, procrastination, and unfulfilled promises. You know you need to change, but every time you try, something pulls you back. A nameless fear, a familiar hesitation, a voice whispering in your mind, "This is who you are. You can't be any different." But now, imagine a different scenario. 1 week from today, you look in the mirror and see a strong, disciplined person, unmoved by fleeting emotions. A sharp mind, a healthy body, a structured life, and an unshakable spirit. No longer stuck in regret or hesitation, you are in full control, radiating absolute confidence. This isn't a far-fetched dream. This is entirely possible if you're willing to commit to change. Stoicism has helped thousands rise above emotional chaos, master their insecurities, and forge an unbreakable will. Now, it's time for you to apply it to your own life. Are you ready to become an unrecognizable version of yourself? Let's begin. Day 1. Erase your old self to start fresh. Imagine waking up one day to the news that you have died. Not a physical death, but the death of your identity. The person you once were is no more. A funeral with no attendees, no flowers, no tears. Just you, standing there, looking down at the version of yourself from yesterday. How does it feel? Do you feel regret, relief, or is this the moment you've been waiting for all along? If you want change, if you truly want to step into a new life, the first thing you must do is bury your old self. There is no rebirth without an ending. But before you do that, there's something crucial. You must identify the body. Do you truly know who your old self was? Or have you simply coexisted with it without ever really seeing it? Marcus Aurelius once said, "Look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it will ever bubble up, if you will ever dig." There is so much goodness within you, but you must dig deep to uncover it. And to do that, you must wade through the muddy waters of old habits, old thoughts, old reactions. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself, what beliefs did I once hold about myself that now seem ridiculous? What patterns do I keep repeating like a puppet on strings? What excuses do I constantly use to avoid taking action? If others had to describe me in 3 words, what would they say? And would I want to hear those words? Be honest. This is your personal autopsy report. If you don't dare to look your old self in the face, you will always be haunted by it. The next step is to gather the remains to be buried. The old beliefs. You once believed you were not good enough, not strong enough, not worthy. Write them down on a piece of paper. These are not truths. They are lies you have believed for too long. The old excuses, "I don't have time. I'll start tomorrow. I'm afraid of failing." Imagine if these excuses were stones, and each day you had to carry a sack full of them on your back. Do you want to keep carrying that weight? The old habits, those repetitive actions you know are dragging you down. You don't need to change everything overnight. Just recognize them and accept one truth. They no longer belong to you. Now, it's time to say goodbye. No witnesses, no flowers, no eulogies. Just one symbolic act. Write a farewell letter to your old self. Thank it for everything it has been through, but make it clear that its role has ended. Burn the paper holding your old beliefs and excuses. Let the smoke carry them away, a reminder that they no longer have power over you. Look in the mirror, for as long as it takes, and say to your reflection, from today, you are no longer who you were yesterday. Epictetus once said, first learn the meaning of what you say, and then speak. When you say goodbye to your old self, don't just say the words, understand their weight. You cannot keep one foot in the past while expecting a different future. Now, you stand at the exit of the cemetery. You have seen the body, held the funeral, buried it. But here's the important part. Don't look back. Too many people go through this ritual only to resurrect their old selves later. They keep a copy of who they were, just in case. Don't do that. Seneca once wrote, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." Things are not hard because they are truly impossible. They are hard because we lack the courage to face them. So, if you truly want change, dare to walk forward without looking back. Look ahead. Don't stare at the grave behind you. It is no longer a part of you. And now that you have shed your old skin, what lies ahead? A barren wasteland or an open door? The answer depends on how you choose to shape your mindset at this very moment. Transformation isn't just about letting go, it's about rebuilding, about reclaiming control over your thoughts, emotions, and actions. This is the next day in your 7-day journey of transformation, a real inner upgrade. Let's keep moving forward. Day 2. Upgrade your mindset and take control. Have you ever felt like you're being swept away by the current of life, with no real control over what's happening? You wake up every morning, repeating the same old habits, reacting to life in the same way, and by the end of the day, nothing has changed. You want to become a stronger, sharper version of yourself, yet your mindset is still trapped in old patterns. Today is the day to break those limits. Imagine a warrior on the battlefield. He cannot control the weather, nor can he control his enemies, but he can control his sword, his mind, and the way he faces danger. In life, you are that warrior. You can either let the world dictate your path, or you can take control of your mind, sharpen your thoughts into an unshakable blade, impervious to the storms of life. What separates the wise from those stuck in the same cycles? Control. The wise do not let emotions dictate their decisions, fear guide their actions, or the outside world define their worth. How many times have you worried about a situation, imagining 100 worst-case scenarios, only to realize that reality wasn't as bad as you thought? This happens because you let your mind wander unchecked. But if you train your thoughts to respond with calmness and clarity, you will no longer be a slave to your emotions. Start practicing control today. When someone says something negative about you, don't react immediately. Ask yourself, does this really matter? Does this define my true worth? When fear creeps in before a challenge, remind yourself, does this fear serve me? Can I act now instead of letting anxiety consume my mind? This isn't an overnight transformation, but every time you become aware of your thoughts and choose to respond with reason, you are strengthening your mind. Stoicism isn't just about thinking the right way, it's about acting the right way. You can read hundreds of books on positive thinking, but if you don't apply them, they're just meaningless words. Want to be stronger? Practice discipline every day. Work out even when you don't feel like it. Wake up early even when you want to sleep in. Read a book instead of scrolling through social media. When you take control of your actions, you take control of yourself. Want to be more at peace? Practice silence. When someone insults you, take a deep breath and observe your reaction instead of responding immediately. When faced with a difficult situation, take time to think instead of making impulsive, emotional decisions. Every small action is a brick in building a new version of yourself. You don't need to change overnight, but if you improve by just 1% every day, in a year, you will be a completely different person. If a week ago, you were someone easily controlled by emotions, reacting impulsively, letting circumstances dictate your mental state, then today, you begin to change. Today, you choose to upgrade your mindset, control your thoughts, and act with intention. Imagine yourself a week from now, a calmer, sharper, more purposeful version of you. Someone who doesn't let negativity derail them, who doesn't let fear control them, who doesn't let fleeting emotions dictate their fate. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are the architect of your own life. And the transformation begins now, with how you choose to think about yourself and the world around you. So, what will you choose? To remain the same, or to step boldly into your transformation and become the best version of yourself? If you're ready to change, comment "New Me" so I know you're committed to mastering your life. And don't forget to subscribe, because when I drop the next breakthrough content, you'll be the first to get it. Day 3. Transform your body to match your mind. Imagine this. You wake up early in the morning, your body brimming with energy, your eyes sharp, your breath strong. You step outside and feel the crisp air against your skin. No more exhaustion. No more procrastination. You feel a raw, primal power coursing through your veins, the power of discipline, the power of someone who has mastered themselves. But now, look at who you were yesterday, sluggish, drained, dragging yourself through the day. Laziness weighed down every joint, sapping your strength. You let your body weaken, allowing your mind to be trapped in a feeble shell. How can you expect to take control of your life when even your own body is betraying you? But you are not a prisoner of weakness. You have the power to change. You can take control of your body, forge it into a sharp weapon of willpower. There is no fate condemning you to mediocrity. No unseen force is holding you back. Every movement, every decision, every moment you choose discipline over surrender, you are shaping a new version of yourself. You have only two choices: rise and transform, or remain stagnant and let mediocrity swallow you whole. So who do you want to be? A strong, confident person who strides through life with purpose, or a spectator trapped by their own body? If you seek a mind as sharp as a philosopher's, your body must become the vessel that serves that ambition. And the first thing you must change is what you put into it. You cannot expect mental clarity while poisoning yourself daily with garbage. Sugar, processed fats, trans fats, these don't just destroy your body, they corrode your mind. A sharp intellect cannot exist within a body filled with toxins. Clean up your plate. Eat like a warrior. Choose real, simple, energy-packed food. A strong body doesn't just appear. It is forged through discipline, through challenge, through pushing beyond your limits. Have you ever seen a cheetah in the wild? Its body is a masterpiece of raw power, every muscle primed for explosive action. Do you think it got there by sitting idle all day? No. Strength is built through movement, through hardship, through forcing your body to adapt to adversity. If you refuse to train, your body will wither into uselessness. You don't need an expensive gym membership. Just start. Run in the morning, do push-ups in your room, take the stairs instead of the elevator. Anything that makes your heart pound, your muscles tighten, your sweat drip. Those are the moments when you are crafting a new body, a new will. But strength is not just about diet and exercise, it's also about sleep. Do you scroll mindlessly on your phone until 2 a.m., wake up groggy, then rely on coffee just to function? You are destroying yourself. Sleep is not a luxury, it is the foundation of power. Seneca once warned, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Don't let your precious hours slip away. Quality sleep will make you sharper, stronger, and ready to crush the day ahead. If you truly want to change, challenge yourself. Challenge is the only path to strength. Take cold showers in the morning to harden your resilience. Try intermittent fasting to gain control over your cravings. Hike mountains, run marathons, train harder than you did yesterday. Anything that forces you out of your comfort zone, that is what will rebuild you. The easy path will lull you into stagnation. The hard path will resurrect you as someone new. And above all, act now. How much time have you already wasted? How many months, how many years have you spent waiting for the right moment? When you feel motivated, when you have more time, when you're finally ready. Stop lying to yourself. Seneca said, "While we are postponing, life speeds by." You can wait, but time will not. Your hesitation does not pause the world. It only pulls you further away from the strongest version of yourself. So, what will you do now? Will you wake up earlier and train? Will you cut the poison from your diet? Will you step out of your comfort zone? Or will you continue the same cycle, thinking about change but never truly changing? A week from now, you could look in the mirror and barely recognize yourself in the best way possible. You could become a different person, stronger, sharper, more formidable. No one else can do it for you. You must rise on your own. You must fight for yourself. Act now, not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Day 4. Create a system that sustains growth. There's a terrifying truth that few are willing to admit. You cannot rely on motivation to change your life. Think about the last time you were filled with excitement, determined to exercise, learn a new skill, or wake up early every day. What happened after a week? Chances are you gave up, slipped back into old habits, and blamed yourself for lacking discipline. But the problem isn't that you're weak. You're simply using the wrong strategy. When a small stream carves its way through a mountain for thousands of years, it forms a steady, unstoppable flow. It doesn't need to try to keep going. It just does, every single day. And so do you. If you have a system, you don't need motivation. You simply act on autopilot. You don't need iron willpower to transform yourself. You just need to change your environment. Imagine you're trying to eat healthier. If your kitchen is filled with snacks and soda, do you really think you can resist temptation forever? Willpower is finite, but your environment shapes you. If you want to read more, place a book on your pillow. If you want to stop mindless scrolling, leave your phone in another room while working. If you want to exercise, set out your workout clothes by your bed the night before. The most powerful systems aren't strict rules. They are the things that make action inevitable. Goals are like paper boats, easily swept away by the current of life. You can't control outcomes, but you can control your actions. Instead of saying, "I want to be healthier," say, "I will exercise for at least 10 minutes a day." It doesn't have to be perfect, I just have to do it. Instead of saying, "I want to be more disciplined," say, "Every morning I will write down 3 things I must do before touching my phone." Think of a great musician. He didn't become exceptional because he suddenly felt motivated to practice for 10 hours one day. He became great because he touched his instrument every day, even if just for 15 minutes. If you want to change your life completely, don't start with something big. Start with something so small you can't fail. Write 1 sentence a day instead of aiming for 100 pages. Do 5 push-ups every morning instead of forcing yourself into a 2-hour gym session and quitting. Read 1 page instead of pressuring yourself to finish a whole chapter. Seneca once said, "He who is everywhere is nowhere." If you try to do everything at once, you'll accomplish nothing. Start with the smallest action and let your system expand it naturally. There will be days when you don't want to do it, days when you feel uninspired. But you know what? Feelings don't matter. Commitment does. Have you ever heard a soldier say, "I don't feel motivated to fight today"? Or an astronaut says, "I'm not in the mood to go to space"? If what you're doing truly matters, you'll do it, whether you feel like it or not. Create a no-exception rule for 1 small habit, something you can sustain even when motivation is gone. No matter what, I will write 1 sentence a day. Rain or shine, I will take a 5-minute walk outside. No matter how busy I get, I will meditate for 2 minutes before bed. Remember, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep going. Right now, you have 2 choices. Nod in agreement, then return to your old life, or start making a change right now. No need to be perfect. No need to rush. Just take action within a system. Who will you be in a week, a month, a year? If you build the right system, the answer is someone even you won't recognize. Remember Epictetus's words, "Progress is not achieved by luck or accident, but by working on yourself daily." The world doesn't owe you change, but if you take action, if you build the right system, nothing can stop you. Start now. Don't let another day pass while you remain the same version of yourself. Now, congratulations, you've already made it more than halfway. If what you've heard so far sparks something in you, hit that like button to let me know this video is bringing you real value. Don't stop now. You're getting closer to a stronger, more disciplined, and completely transformed version of yourself. The next sections will help you solidify your foundation, maintain unstoppable momentum, and build a rock-solid identity. Stick with me until the end, because when this video is over, you won't just have motivation. You'll have a clear roadmap to transform your life for good. Day 5. Command attention and influence others. On this 5th day, we're not talking about pleasing others or faking authority. We're talking about becoming someone others want to follow, not because of what you say, but because of who you are. Charisma is not something you're born with. It is a skill, an art, a weapon you must forge yourself. Many mistakenly believe that charisma comes from looks, wealth, or status. They are wrong. A room falls silent when a truly influential person walks in, not because they are handsome or dressed in luxury, but because they carry an undeniable energy. It's something ordinary people don't have. It's something you can create. It all begins with how you command the space around you. When you walk, do you lower your head, staring at the ground, or do you walk with your head high, eyes forward, as if you know exactly where you are going? When you speak, do you rush to explain, justify, or fill every silence, or do you speak slowly, with purpose? A charismatic person doesn't need to shout to be heard. They simply exist, and the world listens. There is a vast difference between being respected and merely standing out. Standing out is easy. You can wear outrageous clothes, say shocking things, or act recklessly to draw attention. But that fades quickly, like a firework that bursts and disappears. Respect lasts. It's when people listen to you, even when you're not trying to be heard. It's when you don't need to prove anything, yet others still look at you with admiration. A truly charismatic person never begs for validation. They don't need anyone to tell them they matter, because they already know. The moment you understand that your worth isn't defined by what others think, but by how you perceive yourself, you will enter an entirely different state. You will no longer seek external approval. You will no longer feel the need to boast or prove yourself. And in that exact moment, when you stop trying to be noticed, you will become someone no one can ignore. All great influencers of the world understand this. They are not rushed, they do not talk excessively, and they do not seek to impress. They listen more than they speak. They observe more than they react. They are not easily provoked by trivial matters. When someone insults them, they don't feel the need to retaliate instantly. They control their response, and that control makes them powerful. A person who loses their temper easily will never have true influence. A person who gets caught up in meaningless debates will never control the world around them. You can start training this skill right now. When someone speaks to you, turn to them slowly, hold their gaze steady, without fidgeting, without impatience. When you speak, slow down, don't rush, don't fear silence. A well-timed pause can be more powerful than a long speech. When you walk, walk as if you know exactly where you are going, even if you're uncertain of the destination. One day, you will realize a strange truth. When you stop seeking attention, you will start drawing it. When you stop trying to be heard, people will begin to listen. When you no longer feel the need to prove your worth, the world will recognize it on its own. And when that moment comes, you will no longer be the person you once were. You will become someone no one can overlook. Today, take a look at yourself. Are you living as someone others want to follow? Or are you simply chasing the crowd? Remember, real charisma doesn't come from trying to please others. It comes from confidence, stability, and unwavering commitment to your path. As you move through this 5th day, ask yourself, am I becoming a torch that lights the way, or am I merely following someone else's glow? If the answer isn't clear, take action. Right now, for yourself, not for anyone else. Day 6. Take massive action without excuses. We often hear the phrase, change yourself. But in reality, what happens? Most people live in endless cycles of procrastination. They know they need to change, yet they never truly take action. They come up with excuses. I'm not ready. I don't have enough time. I'll start next week. But the Stoics knew that next week doesn't exist. Only this very moment does. If you truly want to transform your life to the point where you become unrecognizable, there is no other way but to act, right here, right now, immediately. And beyond that, your actions must be decisive, no hesitation, no excuses. This is one of the core principles of Stoicism: relentless action, without judgment, without delay. Because in this world, no one judges you by your ideas or intentions. The world only sees results. You can talk about changing yourself 1,000 times, but if you do nothing, you remain the same. The Stoics understood that life is a constant flow. You can sit on the shore thinking about swimming across the river, or you can dive in and start swimming immediately. No change ever happens through thought alone. You cannot think your way into strength. You must train. You cannot think your way into success. You must act. The biggest trap people fall into when trying to change is making excuses. You will always find a reason not to act. I need to feel inspired first. But the Stoics knew that action creates inspiration, not the other way around. I don't have enough time. Yet, everyone has the same 24 hours. No one has more or less than you. I'm afraid of failure. But failure is just a test. If you fear it, you will never grow. Look back at history. The greatest minds, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, never searched for reasons to procrastinate. They acted even when they lacked inspiration, motivation, or ideal conditions. Because the Stoics knew one truth: action is the only thing within your control. Does this sound contradictory? How can relentless action bring inner peace? The truth is, peace doesn't come from avoiding life. It comes from controlling yourself in every action. The Stoics did not seek tranquility by sitting still. They achieved it by doing what needed to be done, without allowing external forces to shake them. Have you ever felt frustrated after delaying something for too long? That heaviness comes from inner conflict. You know what you should do, but you aren't doing it. On the other hand, when you finally take action, an unusual feeling emerges: relief. Because you are doing the right thing. You are in control of your life. That is why warriors, philosophers, and those who master their fate all share one thing in common: they do not hesitate. So how do you apply this to your life? Start now. If you've been putting something off, stop and do it immediately. Don't wait for the perfect conditions. Take action every day. No great transformation happens overnight, but if you do a little each day, you will become a new person. Never make excuses. If you catch yourself thinking, "I can't do this because," stop immediately. Replace that thought with, "I will do this no matter what." If you want to become an unrecognizable version of yourself, you have no choice but to act now. Don't wait for a miracle. Don't wait for inspiration. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Marcus Aurelius once asked himself, "How much longer are you going to wait before you demand the best from yourself?" The real question is, how much longer will you wait? Are you willing to take action today, no matter the circumstances? If you're ready, prove it. Comment, "Start now," and share one thing you will change starting today. I can't wait to see your transformation. Day 7. Embrace and lock in your new identity. After a week of transformation, breaking down the old self, sharpening the mind, rebuilding the body, establishing a system, and practicing discipline, you've arrived at the final day, solidifying your new identity. This is no longer a phase of trial or half-hearted effort. This is the decisive moment where you lock in your new self and walk forward as a completely different version of who you once were. In Stoic philosophy, transformation is not complete when you reach a certain milestone, but when you accept and embody it as second nature. Transformation is not a single event, it is a process. A snake that sheds its skin cannot return to its old form, just as a person who has truly changed can no longer cling to past beliefs, habits, or identities. The seventh day is not merely about finishing your transformation, it is about fusing it into your very being, making it inseparable from your mind and life. This is not a game of willpower, it is a shift from within. To ensure this transformation isn't just a fleeting surge of motivation, you need a personal manifesto, a declaration of intent, a vow that cannot be broken. Write it as if it were an oath, a contract with yourself. Declare the person you will become and never look back. I am a warrior of discipline, not a slave to emotion. I do not seek comfort, I seek growth. I control my thoughts, my words, and my actions. Read these words every day. Etch them into your mind like a blade tempered in fire. Because if you do not define yourself, the world will do it for you, and it will define you by weakness, laziness, and fear. There will come a time when you no longer need to read these words, because by then you will have become them. Identity is not something you merely write down, it is something you repeat, ingrain, and defend. If you want to uphold this new version of yourself, you need something stronger than motivation, discipline. Why do most people fail after committing to change? Not because they lack intelligence or talent, but because they fail to build a system that protects their transformation. Motivation can take you far for a few days, but only discipline will keep you on course for the rest of your life. The weak allow themselves to be pulled by the currents of emotion and habit. The strong create their own current. If you want to protect your new identity, build a fortress of discipline around it. No exceptions, no excuses. If you give in even once, you open the door for your old self to return. But if you move forward, even by a single step each day, your new identity will only grow stronger. Remember, change never truly ends. If you think the seventh day is the finish line, you are mistaken. Stoicism does not teach us to reach some perfect final state. It teaches us to live in a constant state of growth. Everything moves, even the stars in the sky are not still. If you are not evolving, you are regressing. Look at the great Stoics. Marcus Aurelius never stopped reflecting, even as the Emperor of Rome. Epictetus never stopped strengthening his mind, even though he was once a slave before becoming a master of philosophy. If they, men who reached the peak of greatness, continued to learn and grow, why would you ever believe you can stop? See life as a wave. You can ride it, or you can be swallowed by it. If you stop challenging yourself, stop setting new goals, stop learning, you will be dragged back into your old self. Do not let your new identity become just a memory. Make it the foundation for an even stronger version of yourself. 7 days have passed, but this is not the end. This is the moment you stand at the threshold of a new life, a life where every choice is yours to make. You have burned the bridges behind you, shed your old skin, and stepped into a version of yourself that is unrecognizable from who you once were. Now, the only thing left to do is move forward. Remember, the world won't stop to applaud your transformation. No one will hand you a medal for your effort, but that doesn't matter, because you didn't change for recognition. You changed because you deserve a stronger, more purposeful life. From this moment on, you are no longer who you were yesterday. Live with discipline as if it were the air you breathe. Walk with unwavering resolve as if nothing could break you. And above all, never allow your old self to return. If this video resonated with you, if it made you think, hit that like button right now, not for me, but for yourself. Because this is your commitment to never turning back. Leave a comment. Share your thoughts on this journey. If you know someone trapped in their comfort zone, send this video their way, because maybe, just maybe, this is the wake-up call they need. And don't forget to subscribe. This is not the final lesson. There is so much more ahead, and your journey is only just beginning.